Hi, this is Carol, and I'm here talking about Aspergers versus Neurotypicals. One thing I would like to point out is that Aspergers people are always worshiping the truth, and the truth is important. That they believe that lies are deceitful, wrong, immoral, and Neurotypicals, on the other hand, make exception to white lies. White lies are, in the mind of a neurotypical, honoring the person, because you don't want to hurt their feelings, and you really honor their emotions, because you don't want someone to hurt your feelings, so you don't want to hurt their feelings. This is probably going to be the underlying theme for a lot of these discussions, but I'm going to elucidate the differences here in this point, white lies versus truth, in various videos in different ways. So the example today is, the topic is smiling in the workplace. Smiling, engaging in small talk, and generally putting on a happy face. Now, I really respect the Dalai Lama because he balances logic and the heart, and he is very open to all different types of people. And he said that he always tries to be cheerful. That's the one of the number one things that he believes that all people should strive to do. And while it can be a challenge, it's actually our privilege to choose cheerfulness, to see the optimism in things. And the thing about neurotypicals, while they may not even know who the Dalai Lama is, they typically, at the workplace, for example, will want to put on a happy face and smile. And when you're walking down a long hallway and you run into a work colleague, maybe they're not your friend, they're an acquaintance, or maybe you know them, maybe you're new at the job, you should always smile at them and acknowledge them. On the other hand, an Asperger may feel that his thoughts and his inventions that he's thinking of as he walks down the hall are so important and so critical to helping others that they feel that it's best for the human race, all in all, to continue thinking about that thing and not to disturb their thoughts or their thoughts by looking at someone and smiling and saying something that the Asperger thinks is rather useless, because again, the Aspergers will not think of small talk as truth. They'll think of that as sort of trivia, that you're just putting on a face so that you can look friendly when maybe you're actually hate that person or having a bad day. And the neurotypical would prefer to not burden others with their negativity, so they will put on a happy face and strive hard to be cheerful so that they don't burden others with their presence. Again, I will point out the Asperger's point of view is just equally valid and quite interesting, actually. The Asperger will believe that since truth reigns, that's like their mantra, even though they probably don't consciously know it. They feel small talk is trivia, and to smile when you're actually not truly moved or amazed at something, or, like Asperger's typically may not smile a lot anyway, because they're generally the ones I've known are very serious, and they really want to save the world, and they really care about trying to make the world a better place and solving some of these problems that the crazy people have caused. And they spend all their lives trying to right the wrongs and find solutions to problems that were caused by negligence and stupidity. And I'm sure everyone would agree that this is true, and we're thankful for the Aspergers to be there to solve these problems. So we look at an Asperger walking down the hall, and we might even smile at them, and they ignore us, don't even see us. We think, a neurotypical is going to think kind of automatically, and I'm here to tell you that this is not necessary for you to feel this way, but you may feel like, gosh, they didn't even acknowledge me, how rude, and they're really rude, and they're not worth my attention anymore. So then you'll learn to never say hi to these people again, and then you'll start to see them as mean and an outcast, or someone that you would outcast, someone that you would ostracize because they're not following the normal social rules of friendliness. Whereas, again, I'll go back and forth. The Asperger believes that, let's just say I'm an Asperger and I'm walking down the hall and I'm just about to solve this amazing, computer algorithm that's going to make, the company money, to where the company doesn't fold in a month. Do you really think that I'm going to, of course, if I'm untrained, I will think to myself, why would I want to say hi to this person when I'm trying to solve the problem? In fact, the Asperger doesn't even see the person because they're so focused on the problem. Their heart is in solving the problem so that they can make that difference and help people not lose their jobs. He's going to save that company. So that idea is, very, very important for the human race, at least for the community that the Asperger person works in. And so then the serious face and the ignoring the person that he passes in the hall is really, he's honoring that person because that person will benefit. And the insight here is that if each side can see the other side and honor their choices and the way they view the world, kind of like if we went to another planet and we saw another society and they had different rules, we would want to honor that. That, like, say, example, I watched a video once, how to go to China, for Americans, and understand their culture so that you don't insult them in meetings and so forth. And the whole video was about honoring their culture, and it made me really wish that I was Chinese. It was really an honest and thoughtful and kind presentation of the differences without making the American culture seem bad. They showed you how beautiful the Chinese culture was. And in the same sense, Asperger people have sometimes been called or referred to as, it's almost like they were brought up in another country. But since they look American, we tend to think, oh, they should act like us, because you were born in America, right? Why are you so different? But it's as if they were born and raised in another culture because their brain, like other cultures, thinks differently. The Asperger brain thinks differently. For example, when they showed pictures, scientific researchers showed photographs of faces to neurotypicals, the neurotypicals amygdala would light up. But in the Asperger, the amygdala did not light up. Now, you could hypothesize that for Aspergers, they utilize their amygdala for more mathematical or logical reasons or applications, and the neurotypical uses the amygdala for facial recognition or perhaps facial expression and the recognition of emotion on the face. So just that one difference alone shows you that the Asperger and the neurotypical have different brain processing patterns, and so we can't fault them for having this difference. In fact, since most, if not all, world-changing technologies came from Asperger's, we must acknowledge that this might be an evolutionary advantage. And it may be evolutionarily advantageous to have this Asperger quality in a small percentage. Because if everybody was Asperger, then maybe the world wouldn't work as well, because we need those grounded neurotypicals that aren't always in their mind and that are very conformist to hold everything together. Everybody agrees and that everybody is able to follow the rules. And then the Aspergers are on the edge of that Gaussian distribution. Those are the ones that we want to honor, cherish, and realize that we have a gold mine in the mind of all the Aspergers that are being increasingly born, especially in America, that I know about, and give them what they need from us, neurotypicals, so that they can shine, so that they can use their mind to solve these big problems and help our world. Because our world needs smart minds, just what you'll find in an Asperger. And I want to point out one more thing about the Asperger mind. The majority of Aspergers that I've met or heard about or read about are very committed to helping the world, they will work endless hours, not even have a social life, because their happiness comes from solving problems. Their thrill, their passion comes from solving problems, much more so than any neurotypical. So you won't find a harder worker. You won't find a more dedicated worker. And you won't find a more determined worker that will not give up until the problem is solved. Most neurotypicals will give up quite soon. They see there's too many steps to the end, and they don't even want to go there. So they'll give up and do something simple. Whereas the Asperger is happier, and they think on deeper levels, and so they're always in the deep, more networked and complex web of thought. And as a result, they analyze things deeper, they go deeper, they take longer, but they solve deeper, bigger, more crucial problems that nobody else can solve. Well, that's the end of my talk for today. Thank you.